what I tend to do is analyse what I'm doing, and what I do is that, so I don't even look, I can feel it, if you see what I mean, in my hand, and I know that that's the right size sausage to be able, linear stroke, to be able to fix this little bit here. And what happens, look, is that I press it into one side. This is the bit that I like, just here. This is the bit here that's the problem. And then the stroke comes in and through like that, and actually it was a bit too big, so I've dragged away part of it with my finger. And that's it. So now, the injury that was 3 millimeters deep, which would have caused a lot of blood and a lot of pain if this was a real person, and a lot of worry and many phone calls, has gone in a split second. And that's the nature of the linear stroke. You see what I mean? It comes from a point and blends to a point. It doesn't remain an entity in its own right. You can still see the strokes, but those strokes are homogeneous. They blend into the surface, so that when you feel them, you can feel the surface of the sculpture. You can begin to feel the surface of the skin. If you're going from here to here and you're leaving that kind of gap in between the two, you filled it in but you haven't blended it, it looks like a zombie. Do you see what I mean? It looks like somebody has rotted, and unless you want to do zombies, it's not a good look. And I know there's quite a few, well, I want to do zombies, so it's good. But if you want to do a zombie, be purposeful about it, know the rules, and break the rules afterwards. What we want to do is get a beautiful surface that starts to get created. Now what you mustn't do, remember, and the other big problem, is the overfill, where your image of Emily suddenly becomes an image of Emily on steroids. So her face is starting to go like that, and it happens very easily. And it happens because when you're bringing your linear strokes across, you're doing things like this. So it's an inappropriate stroke here, and it becomes big like that. And because you've put so much clay on, you don't think to yourself, whoa, too much clay. You think, oh yeah, linear stroke, brilliant. Doesn't quite fit, I know what we'll do. We'll do that. Well, the moment you do that, my cradle point's gone. It no longer is the measurement that was Emily's measurement. So as you've done it, and it's not much thought goes into it, it's done by mistake, but as you've done it, you're not sculpting Emily anymore. She's gone. One of her measurements is gone. If one of your measurements is gone, if it's not yours, it's not your fingerprint anymore. It's somebody else's fingerprint. You see what I mean? So you're changing that sculpture from one person into another just by spoiling one of the measurements. It's that important. And because of that, when it comes to this sculpting stage, those measurements must stay tagged so that you don't do it. And when you do it, and the tag has gone.
Yes, I know. Guilty.
No, sorry, that it's only because you're feeling guilty. I just thought I'd highlight the point. There's no need to feel bad, Jane. It is only clay at the end of the day. It doesn't matter. You must maintain the measurements of that person. It doesn't matter that we're sculpting, the tags must remain there. When those tags disappear, you know you've made a mistake. That's the key to it. And then you're wasting your time, basically. You might find out that mistake at the end of the day, but if you do that, you've wasted the day. The day's gone because you've now been building somebody else by mistake, not the person that you're meant to be building. It's that critical, so it is very important if you want to get that likeness. But what I'm focusing on when I'm working as a professional sculptor is I want a photographic likeness as quickly as I can get it, and then I imbue that with the person's soul shining through from it. And that generally comes from the eyes, as we were talking about yesterday. When I'm sculpting an eye, I apply the rules that we were talking about yesterday, and we will be talking about them again when we come to sculpt the eyes in the sculptural stage. I will spend at least 3 hours on each eye. It's that important. And you'll find that it suddenly comes to life. When people look at it, they go, oh my God. And that's what you really want from it. It's what I call the wow factor. When you're looking at a sculpture, you've got 30 seconds maximum, really. It's a bit like meeting somebody. The moment you meet somebody, you've got very few seconds to impress that person straight away. If you don't do it, you've then got quite an uphill battle to win back some sort of integrity. And it's the same with sculpture. It must wow people. It must make the hairs on the back of your hands, of your arms stand on end straight away. If it doesn't do that, it's lost the wow factor, and you'll find it difficult to sell your work. And also you won't get the joy out of it that you could get. So we're not building models, but we are getting the photographic likeness, and then we are imbuing it with a life that is almost spooky but beautiful at the